Hello. Now, before I reveal the car that I bought for 40,000 dirhams, let's talk about what I didn't buy. I looked through way too many options, and at one point I even considered that I just needed to buy a Land Cruiser and be done with it. But we didn't. So today I'm breaking down the cars that I considered buying, the cars that I probably should have bought, and the cars that I definitely did not. Welcome to Gav Drives. Now, most people buy their first car at 18 when they've got their license. I didn't do that. I'm 30. I didn't want a Toyota Corolla for my first car. As someone that loves cars, I wanted something that would genuinely excite me every day when I went for a drive. So we decided, and by we, I mean myself, decided that it was time to buy a two-seater sports car as my first car. Something that was exciting, didn't have to be ridiculously fast, but definitely had to be interesting enough for me to want to drive it. Now, for reference, I have a car. We have a car as a couple. My wife has a Volkswagen T-Roc. It is a great car. It goes from A to B. It does 0 to 60. Yeah. But I wanted something that was a little bit more exciting. Again, it didn't have to be the fastest car in the world. It did have to excite me. You know, when you want to walk away from it and you do that little look back. That's what I wanted. So, what did I look at? I have a list. Now, there were some sensible, reliable cars that I looked at for about 30 seconds. Those are your Toyota Corollas and your Yaris's, but I didn't wait till I was 30 to get my license to buy a Yaris. Unless it was a GI Yaris, but that's way outside my budget. What else did I look at? A Mazda 3 or a Mazda 6. Really good cars. Nice interiors, apparently quite fun to drive. Just didn't do it for me. Cheap though. Golf GTIs or Golf Rs or just Golfs. This one very much tempted me. My dad had a Golf that was tuned and was just ridiculous. I think they're very cool cars, but I didn't necessarily want a hot hatch. I wanted something special. Also, problem with Golfs in the Middle East, especially Dubai, is they've either been tuned to shit and they're horrendous with bits and pieces and carbon fiber steering wheels, or they've done 400,000 kilometers. And I know VW is reliable, but I don't want a car that's done 400,000 kilometers. Then we move on to the slightly more fun cars that are still fairly reasonable. So the Mustang, either the V6 or the EcoBoost. I looked at it for about 5 minutes and went, if I'm buying a Mustang and it's not a V8, I feel like I failed in life. BMW 3 Series, like a E36 or an F30. Confident, classy, cool, timeless, but I know myself, and one, they're not the most reliable things in the world, and as soon as I bought a stock one, I'd be looking at M Sport packages and different rims and all this stupid stuff to put on it, so I convinced myself not to do that. Audi TTs. It fit the budget, it fit the look, it fit what I wanted. It's a two-seater sports car, it's a massively underrated car. Does have a lot of issues underlying, but we can get across those. But every time I saw a TT in my budget, it looked like it had spent 9 summers roasting in the sun, sitting in Al Quoz. So I crossed the TT quickly off the list and went on with my search. Now we come down to the things that I was very, very much considering. There was quite a few on the list, and some of them didn't happen. So one of the other options I was looking at, thanks to my dad, was an Alfa Romeo Giulietta. Now, I think the Giulietta is a great looking car. It's got a great little engine in it. I think it's pretty reliable as a newer Alfa, and I think they're generally just fantastic cars. But it was missing that one thing for me, and it was just, I didn't find it exciting. They're great cars, but there was something about it that just made me, it was not a car I was going to get excited to drive every single day. So we crossed off the Giulietta. Now, if I could afford a Giulia, a Quadrifoglio, in that budget, which is the poor man's Ferrari, yes. In fact, I can't even really afford a Giulia without the clover leaf on it. So the Giulias went out the window very quickly. Next up that we looked up, I looked at Alfa Romeo 4Cs because my sim racing head went, yes, you need a 4C. And then I looked at the price of them and went, you no longer need an Alfa Romeo 4C. So they were quickly crossed off the list. Now, 2 cars that I was absolutely dead set on buying was the Porsche Cayman and the Porsche Boxster. I absolutely adore Porsches. Porsches are my favorite cars of all time. I know people don't find the 911 exciting, but I do. I think they're fantastic. Anything from like a 944 to a Boxster to a Cayman, if I could find anything. And look, there were plenty in my budget. In fact, I went to go see a Boxster, a beautiful Boxster S. Now the Boxsters do have issues with the IMS bearing, bore scoring, and they're all generally quite old. Here, to get a Boxster in your budget, you're looking at something that's done a serious amount of kilometers, and you're looking at something from anywhere from 1998 to about 2005. So you don't know that people have looked after it. Service history, not a big thing for people keeping in the GCC. So the Boxster was very disappointing because I really wanted one, and maybe I did buy one. You'll have to wait and see. But I did go see a Boxster that was being sold. I arrived, she gave me the key, said, please go test drive it. I clicked the key, nothing happened. I was like, okay, key battery may be gone or something like that. Opened the door was open, put the key in the ignition, and nothing happened because the car had been sitting for 2 months without anyone going near it. It was caked in about 3 inches of dust and sand. The badges were falling off. The interior was worn. It had the ugliest aftermarket head unit I'd ever seen, and I still considered it. Yeah, I really wanted a Boxster. Now, Caymans were a different story. You've either got the really high mileage clapped out Caymans that I still probably would have considered, or you've got a pretty decent example but Japanese, and you have no idea with these imports from Japan whether they will run, whether they will work, whether they've been rusted, all of that good fun stuff. So that was about it. Oh, I'd love a BMW M2 competition or just an M2, but yeah, not today. Maybe one day. A few rogue options that I did also consider. I did look at Clio RSs, I did look at a Megane RS, not quite in the budget, and obviously being French, not the best reliability and not the best support for buying a car and having dealer support for a French car in Dubai. You see, the used car market here was my biggest challenge. Now, cars here are either insanely expensive compared to everywhere else in the world on the used market, or they're in your budget, but they look like they've been through 3 wars. I would see a car listed as in perfect condition, and then go look at the car and it was missing a window. You know, it would say no accidents, but half the car's a completely different color. This is where the stress kicked in. I knew I needed to get myself a car. I was looking for something that maybe wasn't possible in what I wanted to spend. The used car market is an absolute mess in the UAE, and I got to the point where I thought maybe I just need to go for the Corolla, or just get something reliable that could get me to A to B. Look, it's my first car. I just need something to go. But at some point, I asked myself, why am I trying to be sensible? I'm 30, I've waited so long, I love cars, and I want something fun, even if it's slightly stupid. So this is what my final list looked like. Porsche Cayman, Porsche Boxster, BMW 3 Series, Renault Megane RS, and Golf GTI. There was also one ridiculous wild card. Guess which one I picked? In a few days, I'm picking up the car I actually chose. And yes, it makes absolutely no sense for a new driver, but I love it. You'll see that very soon on the channel, and I will reveal absolutely everything: the price, the condition, the problems, and the car itself. See you soon.